guys, welcome back to the channel, Nate's Pink Bookshelf. My name is Nathanese for those of you who are new to the channel or who just happened to stumble across this video. And I am back after a year-long break. I think it's been a year. I think the last video I posted was my July book haul. Just some soda. But, yeah, it's been quite a long time since I've made a booktube video. And it's simply because life got, in the way. I have a son, taking care of him and stuff like that, then moving back and forth and stuff. But I'm ready to get back into the booktube community. And the reason for that is because I recently participated in Bout of Books round 23. And it's been so long since I've had so much fun reading. For those of you who don't know what Bout of Books is, it's basically a week-long readathon that runs most likely from a Monday to a Sunday, where there's no set goal, there's no set anything. You just pick your own goals, you pick your own TBR, and you read for the whole week. It's just a stress-free reading time. Normally, I pick my goals, I pick my books, and try to get through everything. And, yeah, I had so much fun. So, this is going to be my Bout of Books wrap-up, as well as my August wrap-up, because it is August 30th. I'm probably will finish one more book, but I don't even know what book I want to read. So, I wouldn't even be able to tell you guys. So, I figured I can just do my wrap up now. So I'm going to start off with Bout of Books things first. So Bout of Books 23 wrap up, and then we'll do the rest of the books for the August. So I'm going to share with you guys the goals that I set first for myself for the readathon. And I have my laptop in front of me, so you might see me looking down just so I can look at the notes. But so I set 5 goals for myself. The first one was to read every day, which obviously it's a readathon, so that's a no-brainer. But I put that goal for myself because I am a stay-at-home mom. I do have a 4-year-old, and I also work for my church doing a lot of clerical work. I create flyers and stuff, so I can get busy and skip a day of reading. So that's why I said that for myself, and I definitely did read every day. The second goal I had for myself was to finish 3 books from my list. Now, I only had 5 books on my TBR for Bout of Books 23 just because I wasn't reading a lot of books in the past year. So I wanted to read 3 books from that list. I surpassed that. I read all 5. The third goal was to read 300 pages. I surpassed that. I read almost 3,000 pages. I'll tell you guys how many. The fourth goal was to read a graphic novel or a manga, which I definitely did. I read 6 total, 3 mangas and 3 graphic novels. And then the fifth one was to participate in 2 challenges. And I actually participated in all of the challenges via the blog and Instagram, which was so fun. So, let's get to my total. So, the total number of books that I read for Bout of Books was 16 books. So, within 7 days, I read 16 books. I completed 15 of those books. So, the last book I wasn't able to complete, but I did get a good part of the way through. I read a total of 3,490 pages in a week, you guys. Which I'm so proud of, proud of myself. So I'm going to tell you guys what was on my TBR for the readathon. So the books on my TBR were Cling by Kim Cash Tate. This for me is a reread because I'm reading it, hosting a book club in my Facebook group. So I definitely wanted to read this. This is a Christian nonfiction, sort of Christian living lifestyle book. This is, like I said, a reread for me. This is 5 stars. I read it through. I marked it up, highlighted, wrote, this book is life. Loved it. So that I gave 5 stars off the bat. It's a favorite. The next physical copy that I have is The Falconer by Elizabeth May. This I did pick up from Dollar Tree maybe a year or 2 years ago. I go to Dollar Tree a lot. I always live by Dollar Trees, especially out here in Jersey. Dollar Trees are everywhere. So every time we move somewhere, I'm always close to a Dollar Tree. So I normally go there, search the book section. Some days are good, some days are terrible. The past couple times I've hit the bank, you guys. But The Falconer, I found this. And the only thing that was really wrong with it was that the bottom is dented. There are some marks. I'm not sure where Dollar Tree gets their books from, but everything in Dollar Tree is $1. So I snagged this book up. Read it. I gave this 4 stars. This was so good. This is a young adult fantasy romance with some steampunk aspects to it. I loved it. It's so awesome. Lots of magic, lots of action, steamy romance. And the romance, I love the romance in this because it wasn't over the top. It took a long time to brew. You knew there was a romance there, but it wasn't a solidified romance because the male, I guess, protagonist wasn't up for it. He didn't really want to admit it until the end. And it was just oh my gosh. So this basically is set in the 1800s, I believe 1844 in Edinburgh, and the main female character protagonist, her name is Alina. Her name is Lady Elena Cameron, and she is the daughter of the Marquis of Douglas, and basically her mother died, and she was found over her mother's body. So everyone pretty much thinks that she killed her mother, but that wasn't the case. Fairies killed her mother, and she is a lady by day, fairy hunter by night. And she works alongside this mysterious mentor who happens to be a fairy himself. And her best friend is also a pixie, and I love it. I love it so much, you guys. I gave this 4 stars. This was so freaking amazing. I think I gave it 4 stars. I should probably look at my Goodreads, right? But if I'm not mistaken, I gave this 4 stars. It was so good. The next book was an ebook that I actually ended up picking up from Libby. So Libby is kind of, this is like my reading folder. Libby is sort of from Overdrive. They call it Libby by Overdrive. And these are the 2 books that I had, which are The Tycoon's Rebel Bride, as well as Me Before You. After You by Jojo Moyes. So I did read The Tycoon's Bride by Maya Banks. It's written by Maya Banks, but it was created into a manga by Nanao Hideki. I'll put the images obviously here. That I gave 3 stars. It's a contemporary romance. It was nice, it was sweet, it was cute. It was alright. I gave it 3 stars. The next one that I did was After You, which was on my TBR, and I listened to that from Libby on audiobook. And After You is the sequel to Me Before You. There are 3 books in the trilogy: Me Before You, After You, and Still Me. So After You basically follows Louisa's life after she loses Will Traynor, and her just picking up the pieces of her life and moving on and finding love again. And so freaking beautiful. What did I give this? I can't even find my rating for it, you guys. I gave it 4 stars. It was so beautiful. I loved it, and the things that were revealed and shared and just unexpected. There's an unexpected twist that you would have never expected concerning Will Traynor. And I think it added to the story. So I'm definitely going to probably listen to the audiobook for the 3rd one, which is Still Me, because it was really beautiful. I loved it. So yeah. And then the 5th book that was on my TBR for Battle Books was The 100th Queen by Emily R. King. This is a fantasy novel, I guess. Yeah, fantasy, YA fantasy. After You guys was an adult contemporary romance novel. That's that. And so was Tycoon's Rebel Bride. But The 100th Queen by Emily R. King is a YA fantasy, and it definitely was a little cliche. I gave it 4 stars. It was good. I liked it. I liked the fantasy aspect, the magic system, and all that. I think it was a great first book to the series. So I think there's 4 books in the series. I do own books 2 through 4 for review, but I didn't read the first book, which is why I ended up getting that from Kindle Unlimited. And this is my e-reader. I do have a Nook. I've showed this to you guys previously before. I have a Nook, but I do use the Kindle app on my phone and my Nook as well. So I read that through Kindle, and I gave it 4 stars. It was really good. It's definitely a trope. The main character, Kalinda, is basically an orphan who's pretty much always sick. Everybody thinks that she's this weak little girl because she's always sick, but her sickness wasn't really a sickness. She has some magical powers, and she finds that out throughout her travel once she is claimed by the Raja. And the Raja is this evil bastard that I hate, and she falls in love with her guard, and yeah. It was okay. Give it 4 stars. So those were the 5 books that I had on my TBR, and I completed all 5. So then I read other ones. So I read Anne of Green Gables, the graphic novel, through Scribd, and I signed up for the month. It's 2 months. I think I found a 2-month kind of coupon deal for Scribd, so I signed up for that, and I was able to read the graphic novel of Anne of Green Gables. I have never read the books. I've watched the shows, the cartoons, movies, whatever, and I finally read the graphic novel. But I forgot how much I love Anne. Anne is such a sweet girl. She is so mature for her age, very knowledgeable, and she's so friendly. She's down to earth. I love Anne. Anne is awesome. But I read that 5 stars through and through. Then I listened to / read Binti by that person there. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that name because I don't want to say it wrong. But I gave it 3 stars. I wanted to read it because I heard so many people rave about it. It's like a sci-fi novel, YA. I don't know. The first book was okay, 3 stars. I'm definitely going to read the second book to see how it goes. I heard that the other 2 books are a little longer, so I'm going to check that out. Then I read Love's Second Chance by L.P. Dover. This is a contemporary romance novel, and I like it. It's a second chance romance. Basically, the main character's name were Galen, and I can't remember the woman's name, so let me look it up real quick. So, Corinne. Okay, so Galen and Corinne. Basically, they went to college together back in the day. She ended up transferring schools, so they kind of basically... it's kind of like when you leave and you kind of sort of break up. Like, it's not like you tell each other you're broken up, but it just happens. And she ended up meeting someone else named Carson, married him, but Carson ended up dying in a car accident. And she moves back home and she's reunited with Galen. And it's basically them just picking up the pieces where they left off and her moving on from her husband and learning to love again with her first love. Basically like that. I enjoyed it, gave it 4 stars. It was really, really good. The next 2 books were the second and third book in the Falconer's trilogy. I read The Vanishing Throne, which for me was 5 stars. All the way. I loved it. It was action-packed. It was a lot of romance, and it was just so gush-worthy. I love Kyran. I love Lady Elena. I love Derek. I love Derek. And I'm gonna say, I love Derek. Derek is so freaking cute. He's a pixie, by the way. So cute. So cute. Okay, and then The Fallen Kingdom is the third and final book in this trilogy. Broke my heart. I gave it 4 stars or 4.5. Can't remember. It'll be on the screen, but the ending, oh my gosh, amazing. So, The Falconer, like I said, the trilogy is a YA fantasy romance with some steampunk aspects. I pretty much enjoyed this a lot. It was a really good read. I enjoyed binge reading it. So then after that, I don't even know what book that was. Let's count 5. Okay, so the 11th book that I read was Claymore, the 11th and 12th rather. I read volumes 1 and volume 2. I have seen Claymore in the actual animation, the anime, and I've probably watched 10 episodes of it. Can't remember where I left off, but I wanted to read the mangas, because I know mangas are very different from the actual animes, and it's a lot more to the mangas. So I read the first volume, second volume, loved them both. Gave them both 5 stars. Claymore is amazing. I love it. Claire is bomb.com. Rocky. I love him, whoever he is. That mystery dude that picks up the money, can't stand him. I feel like there's something wrong with him, but I don't know. But I read both of these, loved them. After that, I read Just Like Animals by Hetty Iris. My love for this Werewolf Evolution series, you guys, is serious. Like, if you ask me my favorite paranormal, it used to be the hot-blooded, cold-blooded series by Amanda Carson. No. Now, it's the Werewolf Evolution series by Hetty Iris. It is jam-packed full of sex. It is jam-packed full of action, magic, paranormal beings, drama, family drama, romance drama, just everything you need in one. This is the 5th book in the Werewolf Evolution series. It started as a trilogy, focusing around the main 2 characters, Melina and Alex, and then in the 4th book we learn more about Alecus, which is from that series, who's Alex's brother, and then now we have the 5th one, Just Like Animals, which is about Raoul, who is Melina's brother. And if you read the first 3 books, I personally hate Raoul. He's a bastard. It is what it is. I hate him. He's evil. He's a jerk. I hate Raoul. He is the worst brother on earth. That's how I feel. But we have this 5th book, which is about her brother, Melina's brother Raoul, and her best friend Bethany, and how they come together and have a lot of banging fucking sex. Period. That's all I can say about that. 5 stars all the way through. It actually made me kind of like Raoul more, though he is still a douchebag to me. There is a 6th book coming out. It's called Seer, and it's about Kaya, the character from the trilogy. And I can't wait. I can't wait. But yeah, the 14th book that I read, 14th and 15th rather, are the Game of Thrones graphic novels, Volume 2 and Volume 3. I gave Volume 2 4 stars, Volume 3 3 stars. After reading 3 volumes, I've come to the simple fact that I personally do not like the Game of Thrones. The graphic novel, the artwork is phenomenal, but the storyline is just so, it's too much for me. My mind is all over the place following these different characters, and some of them are like related, and then there's a lot of drama. And then I tried to watch the show, but the first episode kind of blew my mind when I don't even know if they were related, but their couple was having sex, and a little boy caught them having sex, and he fell. I don't know if that was like they're related or not, but just no. So I've come to the conclusion that Game of Thrones is not for me, but I'm not done. I will try to read the actual book to see if I like it, because sometimes books are better. And itchy, sorry you guys, but yeah. And okay, so those are the 15 books that I completed. So the 16th book that I read but didn't get to finish was The Novice by Taran Matharu. And it's from the Summoners. I think it's a trilogy or series. I'm not sure. I gave it 4 stars or 4.5. It'll be on the screen. But this is a YA fantasy. I loved it. I actually did enjoy it. I couldn't give it a 5 stars, so I felt like there was some things missing. But I love that it was a lot of background information done and a lot of building. I feel like it should have been more than 2 settings, personally. I love that there are dwarves and elves in this, and demons and orcs. Like, I'm so loving it. So I definitely need to pick up the rest. I didn't finish that till 2 days after the Battle Books Readathon. So this now concludes my Battle Books Readathon wrap-up, and now I'm going to go into the rest of my August wrap-up. So, besides that, I read In the Field of Grace by Tessa Afshar. This is an adult biblical fiction novel based off the story of Ruth and Boaz. I gave this 5 stars. This is so beautiful. If you know the Book of Ruth, it's 4 chapters in the Book of Ruth, but those 4 chapters have so much meaning, and seeing it brought to life in a fiction romance is so phenomenal. I loved it. Ruth's character was awesome. Boaz was awesome. I loved it to pieces. The next thing that I read was Psalms 90 Devotions from Our Daily Bread. I've been reading this for forever. Finally finished it. It's just a 90-day devotional. I enjoyed it. It was good. Gave it 4 stars. Could have been better. After that, I read Nice and Rough by Lucia Jordan. I'm not even going to say that I remember what it's about, because I don't. I read it and finished it August 15th. Don't remember what it's about, but I gave it 4 stars. That's pretty much it. Now, the other books. I'm trying to see. Okay, so I read Stroked by Megan Quinn. And this is a adult contemporary with a little bit of sex. I loved it. It was very humorous, very funny, and I thought it was an awesome read, so I gave that a 4 stars. I mean, no, I gave it 5 stars. Sorry, 5 stars. Then I read Runaway Vampire by Lindsay Sands. It's part of the Argonauts series. This was book 23 in that series about vampires. And I gave this 4 stars only because the main character, Mary Winslow, basically it follows the characters Mary Winslow and Dante Notte. Dante Notte is a vampire who was running from his pursuers, and ended up running into Mary Winslow's RV, and they just happened to be life mates. So that's pretty much it. Now, when I read this inside, it didn't seem crazy, you know. It felt like a gorgeous romance novel. But chapter 2 blew my mind because I'm going to read it. So page 16, it says there's a naked man, and okay, so basically what happens is she hits him, she tries to figure out who it was, but it was too dark, so she got back in her RV, but Dante had snuck into the RV onto her bed, and he fell on the floor. He's completely battered up, like battered, broken bones, all that, but he's a vampire, right? Okay, so she runs into this like gas station stop that's at like the truck station. So she's running to the counter, and she's like, there's a naked man in my RV bedroom. So the waitress smiles and says, lucky you. She says, no, you don't understand. He's injured. Got a little rowdy, huh? Rowdy? We aren't. Lady, I'm 62 years old. The boy is young enough to be my son. First of all, she's 62. Yeah, you heard me. She's 62. So this was basically kind of like a Stella got her groove back. This 62-year-old woman with a vampire who's 100 plus years old, but you know vampires always look young. He looks 25. So it kind of blew my mind because a lot of the sexual scenes that took place, I was picturing this old, haggard old woman. Don't ask me why. It blew my mind. But then, of course, things got better because towards the end, things just were where they should have been. So I was okay. But I gave it 4 stars because that part just blew my mind. I couldn't get past the fact that she was 62, and in my head, I was picturing old hag. Don't ask. Like, I could have even pictured, like, Grey's mother from, like, 50 Shades of Grey. I could have pictured her. But no, I pictured an old haggard woman, like, whatever. But read that, gave it 4 stars. Then I read Kiss Me Back by Sydney Houston, gave that 5 stars because it is such a beautiful story. I think it's an adult or a new adult, not sure, but I'm gonna say adult contemporary romance, but it is an adult contemporary romance, and it deals with disabilities in a sense where one person had dyslexia and the other person was deaf, and they basically kind of kept their secrets hidden very well, but between each other, because they paid so much attention to each other and had a romance brewing, they were able to help one another. And I just thought it was so freaking beautiful. I think I loved it more so because it had that kind of disability type of thing going on, and the romance between the two were just perfection. It ended well. I loved it so much. And then lastly, I read Clipped Wings by Helena Hunting. This is a new adult novel, and oh my god, it's a new adult contemporary romance, and it broke me to pieces. I loved it so much. I gave it 5 stars. I definitely will be reading the second book. I don't know when, but because today's August 30th, so there's one more day in the month. I'm not sure what book to read though, because, well, I'll get to that. So anyway, Clipped Wings. It follows the story of Tinley and Hayden, and how they desperately want to love each other, but they're held back from their past. In the first book, Tinley's past kind of catches up to her, and I guess the second book is more so focused on Hayden's past, and them just learning to be a couple and be together. Loved it so much, gave it 5 stars. A phenomenal book. So I don't even know how many books that is. The book count will be on the screen, exactly how many. Like, I read 15. I read 15 for bout of books. So let's see, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, 23 books. So I read 23 books in 30 days. Because like I said, it's August 30th. I'm not sure what I want to read next though, because like I have so many options. Like, I don't know. I could read the sequel to Clipped Wings, which is Inked Armor. I really want to read A Quarter Wings and Ruin so bad, but I also want to read To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and then I have An Ember in the Ashes. So I don't know. I'm probably gonna continue on with Inked Armor. I don't know. I haven't decided. There's like so many books. You guys don't understand. There's so many books, and I have a lot of books on my shelf. I have 2 bookshelves in my room. I have a bookshelf specifically for all of my Christian-based books, which are like self-help devotionals and fictional books. And then I have a smaller 3-row bookshelf, which has all of like my regular fantasy novels and stuff like that. And a lot of those books I either got for review or was sent to me for review, or I picked them up at Dollar Tree. There were probably like 3 books on that shelf that I paid actual money for, that was outside of $1. So yeah, I need to get a bigger shelf, because that shelf is like only 2 of the shelves are like stacked with books, and there's like 2 rows on that one shelf. It's crazy. But yes, I'm not sure what I'm gonna read, but as of right now, 23 books for the month. I'm not sure how many pages that is, but I'm excited. Can't wait to get back into booktubing a lot more. I'm not sure what my video schedule is gonna be. I think it said before it was Tuesdays and Thursdays. I might just do 1 video a week. Who knows? I'm not sure yet. But that is it for this video. I am going to do some updates to this channel. I probably already started deleting videos. I'm going to redo a lot of the tags I did. Some of the videos will be deleted, some will be unlisted. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do my intro video over. But that's pretty much it. That's my wrap up for Bout of Books round 23 as well as August. And I hope you all had an awesome reading month. Bye.